Hey everybody, it's Jim of Animateducated. Today you're going to meet Pablo Berger, who is the director of Robot Dreams, which is just won the Annie Award for Independent Feature, and it's up for an Academy Award against the Spider-Man movie and Boy and the Heron. So we'll see what happens there. But on Sunday, I got to meet Pablo again, and I saw his film in the theater at the Aero Theatre as part of the American Cinematique program that we have here in LA. And I'll leave a thing below that has their information, so you can become a member if you like. But it's really a good cause. And anyway, it was a totally free movie that day, and Pavlos came in at the end of it and gave this talk. So here's Pavlos Berger.
I'm sure some people here read this book, few maybe. It's Robot Dreams, Sara Varon, graphic novel, published in 2007. Somebody have read this book? I see some hands, yeah. It's an amazing book. So, the reason of making an animated film is this book, okay? It was published in 2007 in the States. I read it in 2010. And why do I have this book? Because I collect children's book or adults book or graphic novels, wordless. And all started when her daughter is 20 now, but when she was a little girl, 1, 2, 3, I said, I want to share the experience of reading. So I found these kind of books and, so I bought it for the collection. I read it, I loved it. It was in my favorites. I made Blancanieves, a live action film. I made Abracadabra, so 10 years went by. And one day I was just, coffee time, procrastinating, and I took it. And this time I read it, I went through, and I was getting very emotional, really, So I laughed, I got emotional, and when I got to the end, I was sobbing. Honestly, I was sobbing. It had never happened in my life, sobbing with a graphic novel. I have to admit it. And I said, okay, there's something here.
Right.
And I know I was kind of visualizing the film while I was reading, and so let's make an animation film. I never thought about it.
Right.
That's the reason. The story is so beautiful.
But easier said than done, right?
Well, I think to make a film is always, a suicidal mission that sometimes comes out right. You don't die,
Right.
But sometimes you survive, and I have survived for a few movies already. So, okay, I was scared, but it was that kind of scare that doesn't block you. It's kind of like get out of your comfort zone. It just gets you more tense. Your brain works faster. So you say, okay, let's do it. And I got the best possible team. I got an amazing director of animation, Benoit Ferromon. He had worked with Juan Chaumet, the Jupiters of Elvire. He had worked with Tom Moore in the Book of Kells. I had an amazing art director. It's Jose Luis Agueda. He had to make the Buñuel and the Turtles Labyrinth. So, and of course, it had a little bit of, the Seven Samurais, Kurosawa. We had some good samurais, but we had a lot of young, upcoming animators and artists in Spain and in Europe. So it was a combination of very experienced and a lot of young artists. And that's why I did it.
We'll talk about sort of conjuring this kind of fantastical 1980s Manhattan and where that came from, and also getting a bunch of Spanish and European animators to know what that experience was like.
Well, the things that in the book is very simple, it's like, the backgrounds are, I don't know, I'm sure, unless you have Spider-Man vision, you can see the back, but only the front row. It's very, the characters have a makeover, but the background, you don't know if it's a city, it's an American city, but it's not defined.
Okay.
I lived 10 years in New York with my music editor. And so this is our love letter to New York. So when I said, okay, the protagonists are not only robot, dog, it has to be also New York. So that was like a key moment, okay, I want to make this film.
Right.
And working with this mix of animators and artists, that was amazing, and my producer, Sandra, of course they're all about the executive in this film, Sandra, said that you always had an animation director inside of you. It's just hard for me just to say animation. I'm a director. So it doesn't matter if I do live action, it's like, I'm a director, so she told me, but you have an animation director inside of you, because all your films, you storyboard for 1 year. I truly storyboard for 1 year, all my live action film. I only have made 4 films in 20 years, so I don't know how many do I have, very few. And then, but she said, you always animated for a whole year. So, that's the key, that the treasure map for animated film is a storyboard. So I spent 1 year doing the storyboard, so after I did that, I said, okay, this movie works. Because the animatic, it has a similar, oh yeah. We made it with our team for the storyboard. It was the art director, Jose Luis, he did the thumbnails with me. Then we had one storyboard artist, one. Then we had the music editor and the film editor that works in all my film. And for 1 year, this small team, we worked and we created. And you asked the question, so what was the team for this, to do the storyboard of the Spider-Man? The credits of Robert Dreams,
I think they're still storyboarding Spider-Man.
I have envy.
Can you talk about the use of September, which in America is sort of an annoying wedding song?
Yeah.
And now you made it this like heartbreaking, beautiful moment. So.
Well, but the older of the days, I have no hair. For me September, it was gigantic kid in the late 70s and in the 80s. We were in the disco dancing, come on. But I understand. In Spain also plays it all the way.
Yes, all that. Yeah.
We had, when I started writing the script, I thought, the film takes place from September to September. What could be the main theme of this? September. And I needed to have a scene because they were going to roller dance. So I said, wow, roller dance. Now the 80s, and then it all became place. And then we realized what amazing is the theme of them in the film. In different versions and whistles and of course the producer every time she was seeing that a new whistling, I know there are film people here, everybody in LA is film people. So music rights are expensive, and every time you play a song, you have to pay. That's why it's not in the credits. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sure you were tired. But definitely, it was very difficult but it was a big thing. And amazing things that when the films, it wasn't the first draft of the script, but when we started production, suddenly we realized, oh my God, the lyrics. Do you remember? That's the theme of the film. That's the reason I made the film. Why did I cry when I read this? Wow. And I'm sure some of you cried watching this film, some because you remember about people that you lost.
Yeah.
So we can be funny again. Okay. Do you remember? And the lyrics, don't get scared, I'm not going to analyze the whole song. But do you remember the 21st night of September? Okay? My music editor and I, we have a daughter, 20 years old. And she was born the 21st night of September. Of course you remember. She remembers more than me.
Your music editor goes a lot further than most.
We shouldn't get into that silent matter. And at the time they were like, we are working now with the Me Too thing, okay? But yes. So it had to be that song.
Yeah. Well, the other amazing thing is all these brand names and things in the movie that I'm sure people are amazed that you snuck in there. That was a long process too, right?
Wow. People think, that's product placement. People don't know. That's clearances, you know that. So everything that I'm using in the film has to be cleared. But for me, in this kind of dystopian anthropomorphic world in the 80s, it was very important to have brands that many of them have disappeared. Many just like, Radio Shack or the most amazing video club in the history of humanity, Kim's Video, or things like that, or Tab, or...
Well, what was it like? I mean, did you have any clue what was going to happen on the Oscar nomination morning?
Have you seen this video of us?
Yes, I saw it after you told me to look at the video. Yeah.
We're the four of us looking at this live from the U2 and the Academy.
Where were you?
We were in Barcelona,
Okay.
in a hotel lobby.
Okay.
And we were there, and we were so stupid. It's our first time that we didn't know that they say alphabetically.
Okay.
So we thought it was a random thing, you
Right.
know? So of course everybody knew that Spider-Man and the boy and the girl was gonna be there for sure. And some of them, they were, so I don't know, I thought, okay, oh, yes, Spider-Man. And then we thought, Nimona, I love Nimona, I'm not saying, but I thought like, when Nimona came in, I said, there's no chance. There's no chance. And after we said there's no chance, he was in the Robot Dreams. One of us had a sensitive heart. We were like,
Yeah.
I lost my voice since then, you know.
Well, I mean, what was a particularly difficult character to animate?
Well, let's see. Yeah. The book, you know, the main characters that appear in the film are in the book, you know. But definitely, and they have makeovers because it's very different to make comic book in film, you know. So they have makeovers, they have evolved in the film. But in the book, they don't appear supporting characters, like background characters. And for us, New York, when we decided to make a film about New York, what makes New York, New York? New Yorkers. So we had a team of character designers through the whole production, non-stop creating New Yorkers. We had thousands books of New Yorkers. And for us, I said, like, you know, I want everybody in the background has to have a reason, a design, what they're doing. So we decided that every New Yorker had to have something. And so how they dress, how they. So, but to choose one about animation, how difficult it was.
Yeah.
Just to go to the point. The octopus, and it's my favorite. But it's the octopus because when I was writing, I said, wow, because you and I, when we were living in New York, it was the time when the bucket drumming was starting, and you know it was really exciting to see it in the subway, you know, and then when I said an octopus, it was, and then but when he made an octopus and do that whole scene, that was hard work to do that. You know, because he did a great job with the octopus.
Who was coming up with all the backstories for these animals? Where they were going to work?
Well, you know, this is always the directors that is responsible. You know, French and Perry. You know, the director is the author. Okay. Got a question? Is this? No. Of course, you have a big character design team. That they are under the art director. The art director, Jose Luis Aguila, I really want to talk about him. He did an amazing job. He really needs the credit to lead this amazing group of artists, you know. I think a good character designer has to think about why he's there, why he's dressed that way, or what is the attitude. So yeah, it's important to have the personality, you know.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. I think I speak for everyone when I say thank you for this amazing story.
Thank you, Andrew. My pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, from now on, you're ambassadors of Robot Dreams if you like it. Ambassadors. And if you didn't like it, just tell your enemies, please. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Pablo Berger. This was part of the American Cinematique lecture series at the Aero Theatre in Santa Monica. And I'm going to leave a link below so you can contact them about becoming a member. And also, I want to thank Pablo. I talked to him at the Annie Awards, and he was a really nice guy. And I know he was busy that day at the Aero Theatre talking to all his friends and all people that showed up. It was great. And if you haven't seen Robot Dreams, definitely go see it. It is up for Academy Award. It's up against Spider-Man and Boy and the Heron. So we'll see what happens. But definitely tune in to the Oscars and find out. Also, I want to thank the interviewer, but I didn't get his name and I couldn't videotape him because I was like between two heads and I couldn't, yeah, it would just have been would have been a nightmare. So anyway, my apologies for that. And but I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, you can press this button right here to subscribe, or you can watch other videos below, or you can take a look at these two videos here as well. And we'll see you next time on Animated Educated.